Hello, 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 and welcome to Get It Off Your Chest, the funny side of breast cancer. My name is Estelle Marr, and I'm joined today in Tissy Towers with my co-host,
Andrea Moulding.
Hi, Andrea, and how are you this week? Have you been up to anything exciting?
Well, I'm not sure it's exciting, but I have a book called Stay on the Bus, and it has a picture of a cartoon.
Nobody knows about this book.
Nobody knows, but I like to keep it to myself and not talk about it ever.
Yeah, this book that's available on Amazon
on Amazon,
paperback
yes,
and Kindle.
And the front cover, I've got a poster on my wall, and the front cover is a cartoon of me hanging on the top of a double-decker bus. Well, I had this brilliant idea that I would recreate it. So I dressed as I am in my cartoon with my blue jumper, my jeans and white shoes. And I lay on all
on the number 17 bus, did you? And ask one of the kids to take a photograph.
No, I'm relying on my technical skills in Canva to superimpose a bus under myself, so this will never come to the light. So I have been posing all around the house trying to recreate my poster. I think the neighbours think I'm a lunatic.
Look, no wires.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking, and Paddy's like, lift your leg a little bit higher. I'm like, I'm not a contortionist, So I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day, but we have spent many hours taking pictures of me lying on the bed, lying on coffee tables, trying to recreate the.
So you're not sure if it's going to work?
No, but I'm determined that it works.
I know some animators. We'll get them to replace the coffee table or the list of tables with a double-decker bus. I'm
a middle-aged woman. Computers, we didn't have them at school, so I'm constantly banging my head against a brick wall trying to get anything to work. So yeah, we'll wait and see if it ever comes to light, but we have had fun trying to recreate it.
Yeah, you've had a bit of a mare with your computer. I keep telling you to upgrade from that Amstrad that you've got, but you just won't listen to me, will you?
No. A bit of retro with my computer, yeah.
Bit of retro. You need boxing gloves to hit the keys.
Exactly. What about yourself then, Estelle? What have you been up to?
I went all the way to balmy Birmingham.
Birmingham?
No, they don't say it like that. How do they say it? Birmingham. And it was Pride. My son was down there working. He works in a drag bar, I suppose, for want of a better word. But anyway, went down with a gang of friends and we had an absolute ball. I was terribly jealous walking around with all the drag queens and their magnificent tits.
They set the bar very high, don't they? That's the thing.
Do. Oh, and I went to a fancy dress at the weekend. I went in 1920s fancy dress.
Cool.
So that wasn't too bad actually, because they were all quite flat-chested in the 1920s. So, yeah.
And they drank a lot as well. Did you know that?
Oh, well, I fitted in with the times then completely.
You're born in the wrong era.
Hey, I fit in anywhere you want me to fit. I would even fit in Prohibition. Yeah, no, it was good. We had a good fun. It was like Brilliant. A charity night. But anyway, on with the show. We have not got any guests this week, not for the want of people wanting to come on. It's just simply because we have had a lot of feedback where people are saying, can we have some shows with just Estelle and Andrea? So we thought we would oblige this week.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a backlog of emails and messages from people. So we've got some stories and we send them in. We will get to you eventually.
So we thought this week, let's kill two birds with one stone and read everybody's stories out. And you can just have the lovely Andrea and I chatting this week. Yeah, so who wants to start? Do you want to start and have a little dig in your bag there?
Okay, so I'm just having a rummage around. And the first story that we've got is from someone called Becky. So hello, Becky, and thank you for sending it in. I think it is actually your real name because you didn't say that you wanted...
It's got to be her real name because you normally come out with all these stupid posh names like Felicity and Anastasia. Sorry for the Felicities and Anastasias that are listening out there, by the way.
Yeah, that's it. Kind of attack our audience, Estelle.
No, sorry. I completely alienated all the Anastasias out there.
Actually, Estelle's quite a posh name, isn't it?
Nah, it's not. It's exotic.
Well, a bit like Andrea, isn't it? Anyway, enough about us. So, Becky, she sent us an email. She talks about lymphedema, something that is very close to mine and Estelle's life.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
suffer a little bit with that. And for those of you who don't know what it is, Estelle, do you want to tell everyone what it is?
Well, lymphedema is when our fluid collect in a various or in limb where you may have had your lymph nodes removed. So Andrea and I have had them removed from a particular arm, from the side where our breast was removed. And so the lymph fluid is not carried through the lymph nodes. So therefore it just collects in your limb. Mine particularly is my arm. So I have a 1980s batwing arm. I don't move the fluid around.
Well, I have a hand that looks like a big sausage, like a big scary hand. It looks like
Carl's hand.
Yes, it is. It's my aristocratic blood, Estelle.
Yeah. Okay. Not your wall sausages.
No. Right. Well, back to Becky.
Back to Becky.
Yeah, she was saying that she suffers with a lymphedema, and she was going on about, we've talked about this before actually, how she has to do these incredibly boring exercises. What Becky was saying is that she's had lymphedema, and what they give you is a sleeve, and the NHS, God bless them, give you a kind of American tan sleeve. I don't know if you've got one, Estelle.
Hundreds of them, and I unfortunately have the glove where they actually call it a gauntlet.
Yes, I have a gauntlet as well.
Which unfortunately is not the same American tan as the sleeve.
Really?
It's not even the same material. So the glove one is all nice shiny silk, while the other looks like it's been knitted by your blind grandma. It's absolutely horrendous.
Oh, ghastly, absolutely ghastly. Anyway, Becky was saying that she suffered from the kind of fashion disaster that is a lymphedema sleeve. She clearly hasn't got a classy gauntlet like the pair of us. She found it really, really dull, basically. So she went on the internet, and there's some sites where you can buy, I don't know if you've seen them, you can buy lymphedema sleeves that are in all these kind of incredibly funky colours. You obviously have to make sure, anyone listening out there, that they fit you, that they're the right size, but they look like a tattoo sleeve. They're really, really cool. Anyway, she sent off for some, and they duly arrived, and she opened them up and put one on, forgot all about it. And her partner came home, and they rushed out round to their mother-in-law's for a Sunday roast. And just to give you a little bit of background, Becky says her mother-in-law was a bit like a Stepford wife, and she didn't have the best relationship with her. Her mother-in-law was always criticising her for her appearance and making snide comments about her attire. And her husband never believed how evil his mother was, because she'd always say it in a kind of covert way, snide comments that only a woman can pick up on. So anyway, reluctantly, she got in the car and they went round for Sunday lunch. And true to form, the mother-in-law started criticising her for drinking. She said it's the only way she could get through the Sunday dinner, and not dressing for dinner. So
for a Sunday roast, what does she want to wear? Does she want to walk in like Tina Turner or Shirley Bassey? It's a Sunday roast, love.
Don't you put a nice frock on for your Sunday roast, Estelle?
I'm lucky if I get out of my dressing gown on a Sunday.
So Becky said she's sitting there guzzling more wine, and she's getting really, really annoyed. And her husband would never back her or understand what a nightmare his mother was.
Oh, I'm surprised that the boyfriend can sit up at the table without some spine.
I know, he needs a slap. Anyway, on this particular day, she'd had enough. And she slowly pulled up her sleeve to reveal what looked like a tattooed sleeve. Which, anyway, she kind of opened an eye and looked at her mother-in-law, knowing that she'd think it was a tattoo. And being the kind of hooty-tooty Daily Mail reading nightmare she clearly was, she wasted no time in telling her how appalled she was that she had a tattoo, all without the husband knowing, of course. Didn't she know her husband was an accountant? Hadn't she thought about the children? And this was all while her husband was in the other room. Anyway,
he's an accountant. God, have a tattoo.
I know.
For God's sake. Oh God.
Becky let her go on and let her assume that she had a tattoo. The mother-in-law could hardly contain her rage. Anyway, she didn't say anything or mention the tattoo. And later that day, his mother rang her husband and said that Becky was not the wife she had hoped for him. ranted. She ranted for a good half an hour, and Becky only heard snippets of it, but knew it was to do with the tattoo. Later, her husband came upstairs and said he thought his mother was losing it because she thought that you had a tattoo. So Becky acts sort of surprised, kind of laughed.
Never let on. She never let on.
And she suggested that his mother might be, losing her mind a little bit.
Yeah. Good.
And suggested that he frog march her down to the doctors for a test. He did. After that, whenever she told tales on Becky or said, Becky's done this, Becky's done that, Becky would just deny it and say, remember when she thought I had a tattoo? She's clearly just having another one of her funny turns. So Becky said she only goes out in her sleeves when her husband goes away. And so any person who's got a difficult mother-in-law who has a lymphedema, she suggests you get on the internet and get yourself a nice coloured lymphedema sleeve because they have more than one usage.
Yeah, that mother-in-law, she deserved everything she got, quite frankly. Right. I didn't have, this isn't from a story, from an email or from our post bag. This was actually a story I was told this week when I was in the hospital attending one of my clinics. And a very short tale, but this is about a woman who, what shall I call her? Because she didn't actually tell me her name. We were just sat, in the waiting room, the way you talk to anybody when you sat there waiting. So I think I'll call her Pocahontas. So yes, so Pocahontas was telling me about a time when she was sat on the bus. She was in the full throes of chemo, and she was sat on the top of the bus with her wig on, feeling all fabulous and confident.
Yes.
And she said it was on my own and having a nose, and a man was behind her. And the way they pressed the button to say that.
Yeah.
They pressed the button. It wasn't her stop, it was the man's stop. And as he's walking down, the way you do when you're walking down and the bus is moving and you keep
you're all over the place.
The bars on you. So he grabs the bars as he's walking down like a bloody monkey. And unbeknownst to her, there's a zip on his cuff. And she sat on the aisle seat with all her shopping on the, on the window seat. And he only goes and whips the wig off. It catches, the wig catches on his zip. So he whips it off. And then he doesn't realise. Then he starts walking down the stairs. So she said, I had to run after him, shouting, you've got me wig, you've got me wig. And he's shouting, I haven't got me wig. She said, I'm stood there on the bottom deck where it's all full, with the head like a dandelion. And she's shouting, give us your sleeve, give us your sleeve. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then he realised he could see this big hairy cuff where the wig was like swinging off his zip. So she had to try and unhook it while bus drivers literally going past the bus stop. And he's shouting, I want to get off, I want to get off. And she's shouting, give us me wig back.
Did it rip the wig at all, or was the wig intact?
She said the wig was all, it was all destroyed on one side. She said she put it on and she looked like the cockatoo from play school. Anyway, moving on. What else have you got in the bag? Anything?
Right, well, this is from somebody called Sally, and it is a wig story, so that was rather a smooth link there. So this woman, Sally, if you've had chemo, the first time you get your wig and you've got to go to a function. For me, it was parents' evening, but Sally was, it was the first time Sally was wearing her wig to work, and she was understandably nervous. It was the first time anyone was going to see her after chemo. And she laid all her clothes out and her wig was on the polystyrene wig stand. And she spent ages doing her makeup and drawing on her eyebrows, which we've touched on before, haven't we?
Yeah. The evil villains.
Yes. Sally says, I turned round and my wig had disappeared. I began to panic, as I only had half an hour until my boss was coming to pick me up. Well, Sally says she knew her Siamese cat.
Go on. You sure it wasn't the cat that sat on the head of the bed, not the wig?
She said she kind of worked it out that her Siamese cat, Veronica, had stolen her wig and was hiding.
Oh, hang on. The Siamese cat's called Veronica.
Veronica.
God No, that's not real. You don't call a cat Veronica.
Veronica, not her real name.
Yeah, we changed the name to protect the cat. In case the cat bites in. Oh my god. Go on. Anyway, sorry.
Sorry, I can't
Veronica
speak
the
that.
cat.
Anyway, Veronica had stolen her wig and was hiding. She spent ages trying to find all the time the clock's ticking down.
Yeah.
The boss is coming round. She can't find her wig. You might see her bald. Anyway, she eventually found Veronica in the airing cupboard. And Sally tried to grab it. Sorry, excuse me. But Veronica was having none of it and held onto it and slapped her if she tried to receive it.
Oh god,
Receive it
Veronica
even.
was probably trying to cop off with the wig.
Yeah. So basically, Veronica, sorry, excuse me. Veronica's in the airing cupboard holding onto this wig for dear life. And poor Sally, she's trying to kind of tease it away from the cat. Eventually, she coaxed Veronica away with some Shiba cat food, which luckily she was given a sample of at the supermarket because dried biscuits wasn't going to cut it with a Siamese cat, let me tell you. So, sorry.
Have you got TB?
I don't think so.
You sound like you've got TB.
I'll just stub this fag out, Estelle. Anyway, Sally has got about 10 minutes before the boss is coming round. She manages to eventually get this wig. She managed to snatch it. Even then, it was touch and go to be ready in time. Luckily, Siamese cats don't have much hair. So she ran her fingers through the tangles, gave it a shake and slapped it on her head, just as her lift arrived for the work due. No one was the wiser. Now she puts her wig stand on top of her wardrobe and has bought 3 tins of Shiba just in case it happens again.
Oh, well, let's just hope that what is it? Veronica the cat hasn't got a little trampoline in the house where she can start jumping to get to the
Actually, that cat could probably jump up there anyway. They're
probably.
mental, aren't they, cats?
Cats like that. I'm coming, darling. I'm coming. Okay, so I'll pull one out the bag now. So let's have a look at this one. She doesn't give her name or his name. No, it's her name. Yeah, she doesn't give her name. So what should we call her, Andrea? Come on.
What about Valerie?
Okay. We've had Veronica. Now we're going to have Valerie. Okay. So this is a very short story. So Valerie apparently went into the garage where they've got, one of those chest freezers.
Yeah, we had one of those in the 70s.
God, do you know what? I haven't even got a freezer. I've got a little bloody icebox I've got the big massive fridge and a tiny little icebox. The only thing I need in my life is ice. That's it. Anyway, so what was her name? Valerie. So Valerie went into the garage to get to have a go at the chest freezer. And when she went in there, she lifted the lid, and apparently it was absolutely rammed with meat, various foods. And she was thinking, well, where's all this bloody meat come from? So she shouted at her husband, and he walked into the garage, and she said, I can't get any more food in this freezer. Why is this freezer full of meat? And he said, I'm basically preparing for your funeral because you're really popular. He started stocking up on the food. And she said, I didn't even know I was terminal. So, yeah, how organised was that? Terrible. Yeah, so there you go. That was the end of that one. Very short story. But that poor woman discovered she was terminal because the chest freezer was full of, I don't know, sausages and bacon and spam. Let's get another
Talking about
spam.
spam. You're talking about spam today. I can't believe we used to have that in the 70s. Spam fritters.
What was spam? What is it? Is it meat or is it?
I think it's meant to be meat, but it's probably offal or something. I don't know.
And meat.
So the evening's getting on, Estelle, and we are going to say goodbye. But before you go, could I remind everyone to follow us, spread the word, subscribe, like us, and share with everyone you know, please.
Yeah, you can contact us on stories@tittytowers.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram. You can DM us there. But until next week, Thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.